In the year 1722, along the western edge of Africa, in what is now Senegal, history was moving through silence. Not the silence of peace, but the silence that follows fear. This was the era of the transatlantic slave trade, a global system that pulled millions from African soil into the unknown across the ocean. And here, along ancient trade routes, something local people came to fear deeply was taking shape. They called it the Salt Trail. At first, it was just a trade path. Salt moved inland. Grain, cloth, and goods moved toward the coast. Caravans traveled these routes for generations. Life depended on them. But over time, the same paths that carried commerce began to carry something else. In the dead of night, or sometimes in broad daylight, groups would strike. Villages near the routes were vulnerable. Travelers moving alone or in small groups were exposed. The attacks were fast, calculated, and disorienting. There was no warning, only chaos. Families separated in seconds, never to meet again. This was how people were snared on the Salt Trail. Those captured were bound and forced into long marches inland or toward the coast. Days turned into weeks. The sun did not pause. Neither did the journey. People collapsed along the way. Some were left behind. Others were forced to continue, despite exhaustion and injury. Every step carried them further away from home and deeper into a system they could not see, but were already trapped inside. Eventually, many reached fortified coastal trading posts controlled by European powers. These structures were holding points in a much larger machine. Here, captives were confined, inspected, and prepared for shipment, separated again, sold again, reduced to cargo in a growing Atlantic economy. Then came the ocean, the Atlantic crossing. What history remembers as the Middle Passage was the final stage of this system. Overcrowded ships, disease, starvation, and despair defined the journey. For many, it was not migration. It was disappearance from everything they had ever known. But the Salt Trail still exists in memory, in the land, in stories, in the echoes passed down through generations. What happened here was not random. It was part of a structured global system that connected inland Africa to coastal forts, to plantations across the Atlantic world. And today, when the wind moves across the salt flats of Senegal, it still feels like it remembers.